Hello everyone, this is Lei. Today I'm gonna, on behalf of the project team, me and Maza, to present the project Part 1. The Professor Lu's course is CSC 6710 and DSE 6100. Okay. Basically, the project is to implement the design of a database for a website of YouTube videos that allow the question owner user to post the DIY question regarding how to do things by themselves, such as house renovation, and he or her can also categorize the tags for each questions. After that, the other users saw the questions posted, then they can reply the question with the YouTube link after the question, and then the other users can uh, add the question posted the video as their favorite video in their favorite list, and everyone can also review the video and put a comment beneath the video. So that is basically the project gonna to do. For more detail, you can review the requirement in this document. Okay, today I'm gonna cover 3 parts. One is briefly talk about the tools we're gonna use for the project development and running. Second part, I'm gonna talk about how to input the my existing Java code to Eclipse and input the SQL statement into the MySQL workbench. Then we're gonna talk about how to run the project locally using the Tomcat inside of the Eclipse. Okay, for the part 1, the Eclipse Java EE is used for the enterprise Java web application development. It's IDE, integrated development environment for the developer to develop the Java code. Okay, so the Tomcat is the server to host your JSP dynamic web application, and also the servlet application. Between the Java code and the MySQL, we are using the JDBC to connect the Java and the MySQL. For the database, we are using MySQL community server and MySQL workbench. the GUI for my SQL database. So we can download each tools using the corresponding link I put after each software. I'd like to briefly cover the architecture of the project. How does it work? So you have more idea. This presentation also covered by Professor Lu, which is very helpful for the project implement and how you think about the how does the project do. So I'm gonna cover only around 2 slides here. So first slide I want to say is the HTTP. How does it work? Basically, the layer 1 is user interface. The user can whatever the user can see is the front end. It includes the HTML and the JavaScript and some CSS code in the first layer. If you build a web page, any web page, and right click and on the page and select the inspection, you will see the HTML code, JavaScript, and the CSS code. Okay, and when the user interact with the web page, like submit the form, search for some item, those requests will send to the second layer, which is the controller. In most scenario, the controller will based on the request, based on the URL and the request parameter, and then redirect the request to corresponding method to do related tasks such as insert into the form. That means insert the parameter into the database, and which is implemented in the DAO, the third layer. In the DAO, then after the DAO finished the manipulation for the database, it will send back the result, either the boolean or the result set, back to the layer 2 controller, and then the controller will respond back to the client, the browser, either send back the JSP page or HTML page. But remember, finally it only display the HTML and JavaScript in the front end, in the user interface. Well, I will cover the uh, second part, which is input the MySQL into MySQL database and input my existing Java code into Eclipse EE, and then I'm gonna show you how to run the project. So in MySQL, we click File, Open SQL Script, and find it. Find the SQL, then we can start implement the project as a database and the tables. Create a database, use database, create a table, insert the tuples. We can refresh to see the database here, and we can select and see the result. Okay, this is the database implement. Let's see the Eclipse. Import the code. So import, select one file, find the project, finish. Okay, so let me show you how to run it. I set up the project, the welcome page. I put the login page, login.jsp as the welcome page, so I can run the project directory and show me the login page. Okay, according to the requirement, if we log in as root and corresponding password, we will able to the initialize button, which is this button. And if we click the button, we will initialize the database and the insert, which is delete or drop all of the tables and recreate the table and insert at least 10 tuples into the database. So it was implemented. Okay, I can dive into the code so you can have more idea how the project do. So for the MVC pattern, we basically have a controller and model. The controller is used to send the request to the model, which is user down, and the user down will send back the result back to the controller, and the controller will send the corresponding JSP page back to the user. Then the user can see the HTML and the JavaScript, see the result. So we can take login as example. So for this login page, we have user, have password, and those parameters were submitted by a form, and the URL in the web page is login. So you can find it in the controller to post, because this method is do post. It will call this method first, and because the do get is inside the do post, then we will implement do get, and then we find this URL endpoint, and we'll go to this method, and then we will assign the two parameters we get from the front end, username and password, to these two parameters, username and password, and then pass these two parameters to this object. Then we need to do a judgment if the username password inside the database or not. If yes, we do the statement. We have session here in order to remember the login user and password, and based on the login username and password is a session, we will make a judgment to see if the login username is equal to the root. If yes, we direct it to initialize database JSP page. Otherwise, it will ask a user to otherwise it will redirect the user to the normal user login page, which I put here, log the .jsp. If the user failed to validate their username and password, the controller will direct the user to the login.jsp page again and ask the user to log in the valid username and password. Okay, go back to the validate the user in the DAO layer. We will see the SQL statement selected from users where username and password equal question mark and password equal question mark. This is pre-statement, implemented by our state object, and we can use this object that set string, so first index number, and so username we get from the user object, and the same for the password, and then we do a judgment here. If the getter name the password is not known, we will execute the statement and get the result for the result set object. And if there is a result, display this statement will true, and we will return true, which is here. Remember, always close the statement and go back to the control servlet. So when it was true, and we need to do the other judgment to see if the login username is equal to root or not. If yes, like I say, it will send the redirector to implement db.jsp, and this JSP is briefly just a button, and well, if when the user click this button, it will invoke this URL, will call this URL, then will implement this function. So other similar, we also have the registration corresponding to this URL and this function, and we have registration corresponding to insert, and then we have this function. So we get the parameter assigned to the object, and do the DL insert the user, do the corresponding SQL, and send back Boolean result. And then we direct to the response page, which is the .jsp. Okay, let's briefly. So basically, a project code and Mazda did so far. Let me show you how the user to do the register a user. For example, gmail.com 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. semicolon. If we're directed to the register successful, we check the database, it will show us the update. And for this project, one more thing I want to cover. So when user in the register page, if they don't have if they already have the account, they can go to the login page. In the login page, if the user don't have the account to log in, they can click a registration page. So thank you everyone. That is basically for the project part 1. I'm gonna post the project part 2. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.